If you're 65 today, there's a 1 in 4 chance you'll see 90. 1 in 10, you'll see 95. Which means the retirement you saved for could be about half as long as the one you're actually going to live. Almost nobody has a plan for the second half. And what decides how those years go isn't your money. If that number surprised you, there's a good reason, and it isn't your fault. Life expectancy at birth in this country is about 75 for men and 80 for women. Those are real numbers, and they're the ones everybody quotes. But that average includes every baby who didn't make it, every car accident at 22, every heart attack at 48. You already survived all of that. The number that applies to you is life expectancy at your age right now. And at 65, it jumps. A 65-year-old man today averages 18 more years. That puts him at 83. A 65-year-old woman averages 21 more. That puts her at 86. And that's just the average, which is where the 1 in 4 reaching 90 comes from. This trips up a lot of people, including people doing serious planning. Somebody on a retirement forum recently argued the savings calculators are nonsense because the average American man only lives to 74. 473 people showed up to argue about it. He was quoting life expectancy at birth. The number that actually applies to a man his age is 83. So he's planning around a figure that stopped applying to him decades ago, and he's short by about 9 years. Retirement used to be a 15-year chapter tacked onto the end of a working life. For a lot of people now, it runs 25 to 30 years. That's not a longer ending. That's a second adulthood, about as long as the stretch between finishing school and holding your first grandchild. And almost every piece of retirement advice you've ever read was written for the 15-year version. The paycheck stops, and you planned for that. But the job was never just income. It was an institution that ran your day. It told you when to get up, gave you a reason to leave the house, and handed you people. Not friends you had to go out and find. People who were simply there, every day, with no phone call and no plan required. Researchers estimate close to half of many working adults' social contact comes through work. Even if your number is lower, count your week honestly. The 5 minutes before a meeting, the person you always sat next to at lunch, the guy at the front desk who knew your coffee order. None of that survives the last day. Not because anybody stopped liking you, because the machine that produced it stopped running. And it doesn't feel like a loss at first. The first few months feel like a vacation you earned. It shows up around month 4, when the calendar is clear, and it stays clear, and you notice the last unplanned conversation you had was with the pharmacist. Most people treat loneliness as a mood, something soft, something you ought to fix with a better attitude. The research doesn't treat it that way at all. Harvard researchers running one of the longest studies of adult life ever conducted put it about as bluntly as scientists ever put anything. Loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking or alcoholism. Not similar in sadness, similar in damage. Social isolation is linked to higher blood pressure, heart disease, faster cognitive decline, and earlier death. The body reads long-term isolation as a threat and settles into a low-grade alarm state that can last for years. And it isn't rare. A University of Michigan poll found more than 1 in 3 people between 50 and 80 say they're lonely. So let's name it plainly. If you got quiet after you retired, if the days blur together, if you've gone a full week without a real conversation, that is not a character flaw. You lost a daily institution that had been manufacturing your social life for 40 years, and nothing replaced it. That's structural. Structural problems don't respond to willpower. They respond to being rebuilt, on purpose. In 1938, Harvard researchers started following a group of young men to figure out what makes a life go well. They expected to wrap up in a couple of decades. They're still going. 85 years, more than 2,500 people, including the children of the originals. What makes it credible is how they built it. They didn't only follow Harvard undergraduates. They also followed boys from some of the poorest neighborhoods in Boston. 2 groups with almost nothing in common. Different money, different schooling, different odds from day one. And they measured everything: blood work, cholesterol, marriages, careers, drinking, decade after decade, for entire lifetimes. The strongest predictor of who was healthy and happy at 80 wasn't wealth. It wasn't career success or status. It was the quality of their relationships in middle age. Relationship satisfaction at 50 predicted health at 80 better than cholesterol did. A social measurement outperformed a blood test. And it held for both groups. The Harvard men and the Boston boys, same answer. When two groups who started life on completely different footing give you the same result, you're looking at something true about people, not something true about privilege. So when somebody tells you relationships matter, that isn't a greeting card sentiment. That's an 85-year receipt. Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse, spent years recording what people told her in their final weeks. The most common regret she heard was this: "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life other people expected of me." Second on her list was wishing they hadn't worked so hard. And in interviews with people in their 90s, one answer keeps coming back. They wished they'd been less busy, not more productive, less busy. Nobody wished they'd saved more. Nobody wanted one more promotion. Money was never the scarce thing. Time with people was. Most people picture retirement as pure leisure. Nothing on the calendar you didn't put there for fun. After 40 years of work, that sounds like heaven, and for about 6 months, it usually is. A man who retired at 64 wrote about what happened next. He and his wife took the big trip, 6,000 miles, saw the whole extended family, finally saw the Grand Canyon. Then they came home, and he wrote this: "That was as far ahead as I had thought about what to do in retirement. I'm now at loose ends. 400 people upvoted it. Retirement built entirely on leisure is linked to boredom, loneliness, and depression more often than people expect." Harvard Medical School's work points the other way. People who stay mentally engaged and socially connected live longer and report more satisfaction. Here's the distinction. Leisure is something you consume. Engagement is something that expects you. What disappeared when you retired wasn't entertainment. There's endless entertainment. What disappeared was being expected somewhere. Your job did that automatically. Somebody noticed if you didn't show up. That one feature, being missed when you're gone, may be doing more for your health than anything else on your calendar. So here's what people are actually doing about it. 3 real things you can look up tonight, and they all work for the same reason. They repeat, and somebody notices when you're not there. Men's sheds. Started in Australia, now more than 4,000 of them in 17 countries. The first American one opened in Hopkins, Minnesota in 2016. It's a workshop. Men show up on a set day and build things together. Furniture, repairs, little free libraries for the neighborhood. The motto explains why it works. Men don't talk face to face. We talk shoulder to shoulder. Nobody's sitting in a circle discussing feelings. You build a bookshelf next to the same guy every week, and 6 months later, he's your friend. Search Men's Shed in your state. AmeriCorps Seniors. Federal, free to join, running right now. 3 programs. RSVP, going since 1971. The Foster Grandparent Program, which puts you with a child who needs one consistent adult in their week. And the Senior Companion Program, where you spend time with other older folks who can't get out much. These aren't drop-in. You get assigned, you get a schedule, somebody's counting on you. Some roles come with a small stipend. Search AmeriCorps Seniors and your state. OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institutes. 124 of them at universities across the country. More than 170,000 members, built for people 50 and up. No grades, no assignments, no tests. And it runs in terms, which is the part that matters. You're in the same room with the same people every week for a whole semester, which is precisely how an acquaintance turns into a friend. Duke's program alone offers more than 200 courses. Search OLLI and the university nearest you, and the free one, which beats all 3 if it applies to you. Go back before you go out. Everybody tells people your age to get out there and make new friends. It's slow and it's awkward, and it's why a lot of folks quit after 2 tries. Meanwhile, you already have friendships that never actually ended. They just went quiet. There was no fight. One person didn't call, then the other one didn't, and enough time went by that reaching out started to feel strange. That strangeness is almost entirely in your own head. Name 3 people. Call one this week. Here's the whole script. I was thinking about you, and I realized it's been way too long. 2 things that make any of this stick. Book the slot before you pick the activity. Choose the hour first, Tuesday at 9. Defend it like a doctor's appointment. Then find something to put in it. And run this test on anything already in your week. If you didn't show up next time, would a single person call to find out why? If the answer is no, that's entertainment. Entertainment is fine, it just isn't doing this job. And if you're the adult child watching this, set up a recurring call, same day and time, then give that call a job. Asking how are you doing gets you fine, every time. Watch the same show and argue about it. Work through a box of old photos, 1 envelope a week. A call with a purpose survives. A duty call doesn't. The extra years you've been handed are a real gift, and they're also an assignment nobody briefed you on. The money side you've probably thought hard about. The side that 85 years of evidence says matters more. Most people never plan for it all. You just did. If somebody came to mind while you were watching, a friend, a brother, a parent who's gotten quiet, send this to them. That's the whole reason it exists. And tell me in the comments, what's the one standing thing on your calendar you'd never give up?